It is the seventh inaugural lecture of the University of Lagos, UNILAG, as Professor Efe Ikponmwosa of the Department of Civil Engineering presented his works by elaborating on what makes up concrete. Professor Efe Ikponmwosa strongly advocated for improved knowledge of building materials called concrete to help find ways to mitigate against building collapse in Nigeria. The civil engineering scholar chronicled the event of building collapses in Nigeria in the past 2.5 decades, noting how there were 114 reported cases of such between 1974 and 2005, and 68.4% of the said cases occurred around Lagos State, where there was 45% of total lives lost due to the collapsed structures.
In the first 7 days to 10 days, the circulation silicate is very active. So you need to manage your concrete there. You must do the curing properly. Otherwise, that is when you may start experiencing cracks internally.
After delivering the lecture, the Vice Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Folashade Ogunshola, noted that a civil engineering scholar has successfully paid his academic debt to the University of Lagos with an insightful inaugural lecture.
Now that you have successfully paid your academic debt to the University of Lagos with today's very interesting lecture with immense contribution on improving our world, on behalf of the Senate of the University of Lagos, you are hereby discharged and acquitted. I therefore welcome you to the committee of professors that have paid their dues. Congratulations.
Well wishes poured in.
Excited today. Successfully, God has taken control, and I'm happy. I'm so happy.
I sincerely congratulate him for exciting presentation and for demonstrating high level of professionalism in all that he does.
Professor Efe Ikponmwosa, I've worked with him on a number of projects in this university. I know he's passionate about what he does, especially structures, and I congratulate him for being able to deliver his inaugural lecture today, which we all enjoyed. We could see his passion, and even though we overshot the time, nobody felt it.
He is my boss. He supervised my PhD. I don't really expect less from him from what he has really presented. He has presented a very topical matter which is very much interested to everybody. So I really congratulate him a lot.
It was concluded that the substandard or poor quality materials used to make concrete that could instigate collapse of buildings should be critically looked into by builders and all. Bolaji Samson, OGTV News.
I do congratulate him, at least, for all what he has done in the department, not only in the department, faculty, and the university, and other universities, not only University of Lagos, the University of First Choice, and the nation's pride.
Treatment. When concrete is prepared with non-potable untreated water, during the hydration process, the gaining of strength is hindered. Therefore, if we use contaminated water, our concrete will not gain adequate strength as expected. Secondly, if we use too much water in concrete, it will also not gain adequate strength, as excess water in the mix creates other challenges for concrete. Several problems can occur in the concrete due to improper mixing, curing, and placing. One of such challenges is bleeding. When a man gets injured, you can see the man will bleed. Concrete also bleeds. Concrete bleeds when you put too much water. When you check people doing concrete things, they keep on pouring the water and you are there, you are standing, you are happy. That concrete will bleed. Experts that are within us here, they know what I'm talking about. The additional challenges that can occur in concrete when we have too much water for mixing are bleeding. Bleeding can lead to segregation because when your concrete is too watery, the aggregate, especially those contractors, those builders who like using big aggregates, the aggregates will be able to settle. They will travel down, while the slurry, the cement, they will come up, and lots of water will now settle, forming what we call lichens at the surface. And that is also problematic for your concrete. You will not get the strength. Furthermore, you have what we call shrinkage challenges. I will not bother you with autogenous shrinkage, carbonation shrinkage, and all that. What is important to us all is what I will call the shrinkage, drying shrinkage. Too much water has to evaporate from the system. When that happens, that will lead to cracks appearing at joints. That will lead to cracks appearing all over your system. And above all, that will definitely would have promoted segregation. And on the long run, that affects the strength of your concrete. Well, a technical session for experts in this area, we can go beyond. But for us all that we are here, you understand what I'm saying now. So if you want to go deeper, they say consult your doctor. So you consult him. But please just note that when bleeding, segregation and shrinkage occur, it is an indication of excess moisture in your concrete. Therefore, for everyone here present, this lecture, as delivered above, is to make us understand the importance of water in making concrete. Don't allow people to pour water into your concrete anyhow. Just imagine a situation that you get your water from bad source. That is number one tragedy. Then you now pour too much water. That is double tragedy. Now, like I said before, we don't have issues with the binder. However, there are little differences between them. Now, in the binder, what is important to us is the compound, cement compound. We have tricalcium silicate, dicalcium silicate, tricalcium aluminate, tetracalcium aluminoferrite. Those are the three compounds. The tricalcium aluminate and the tetracalcium aluminoferrite, well, I can say that we don't really have any serious business with them because they do not add to the strength of our concrete. They don't have capacity to give strength. However, they can give flash setting. And that is why manufacturers, they add gypsum to the production line. The two compounds that are important to us is the tricalcium silicate and the dicalcium silicate. The tricalcium silicate is responsible for the early strength of your concrete, and it is also responsible for the high temperature that you get during the hydration process. Naturally, for all concrete, we say that 0.3, 0.4 is adequate for your water-cement ratio. But why do we go beyond that? There are many reasons for that. So in the first 7 days to 10 days, the tricalcium silicate is very active. So you need to manage your concrete there. You must do the curing properly. Otherwise, that is when you may start experiencing cracks internally. Now, if you expose the members of your concrete, as all of us will do, you will see some, I don't want to mention them, some construction companies, as soon as they demold, they will wrap up the member in cellophane. They will wrap them up and start pouring water, or they cage the water. Because after 10 days, the dicalcium silicate becomes active. That is the one that gives strength till later days. Now, if you expose it at the early stage and the whole water dries up in 10 days, which water will it use after 10 days? Which water will the dicalcium aluminate use? That is the issue of the tricalcium silicate and the dicalcium silicate. So it is something that you will not understand, but when you get to the market and use the expert, they will know which cement to buy for which purpose if the time comes, and if they need to handle certain things. Now, in the quest to also resolve another issue, which is about particle size distribution, we experimented on different types of particle size distribution and changes in water-cement ratio to see the impact on concrete. Now, what you have on the board here, you can see these are the particle sizes changed here. Now, this is where we change water-cement ratio. You can see that as your water-cement ratio changes, your slump changes. What it means is that if you use too much of water-cement ratio, you will have what we call collapse slump. That is not good for for your concreting. Now, in terms of strength, which is the main thing that everybody wants, look at this. As your water cement ratio increases, the strength of your concrete also decreases. So you can see that if you use bad water, it is problem. If you use too much water, double wahala. Therefore, you must marry the two in order to get the best concrete that you require. Madam Vice Chancellor, I have talked about strength and all that. Another thing that we neglect generally is the issue of curing, and I've also advised that we must put we must put in place a practice of sustainable curing procedures that will enable the concrete to retain its moisture during hydration and strength gaining period. The season, timing, humidity of the environment, they all will determine the type of method that you require if you are an expert in the field. If you are not an expert, get someone to help you out. Another problem we are having these days is the issue of placement of concrete, especially when you pump concrete. Now we are forced to pump concrete into the ground. We are also, when you are doing piling, and you also pump concrete above to heights, especially in very tight places. Now, most of the pumps in the market, most of the pumps people are using, they are not too strong. So in order to be able to push, we use excess water, which is injurious to the system. I want to admonish here that we need to be careful in engaging systems that will enable us to place our concrete rightly.